So talk about, was that a learning experience for you,
Oh
the
yeah,
Magdalene?
big learning experience. For myself, I learned a lot about myself in that fight, and how to handle anything that's coming at me in my and like for me. You know what I'm saying? It was a what? Yeah, not to depend on anybody else to watch for me. Like I said, the referee can't see every angle in the ring at all times. But no, nothing. I'm not taking anything away from Diego. He knew what he had to do. He knew he had to slow me down. He knew he had to, he knew he had to get it to get his win. And hats off to him for that. But we want the rematch at some point.
Well, obviously, you saw what happened to him in his next fight against Isaac Cruz, and obviously that fight was a title eliminator. Did
Yeah.
you know that a win would get you to a title eliminator?
No, we didn't know. We weren't aware of that. But I mean, it, there's nothing that there's. I mean, it wouldn't have changed anything. We went out there and fought our best fight. We didn't, for our knowledge at the time. That's what we thought we were supposed to do. But we'll be back up there on that stage at some point for sure.
So, talk about this fight with Gallegos. What are your thoughts on him? What can you tell me about him?
Oh, he's a tough young fighter, and I know he's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve. We've watched some video here and there, but we've also put in a lot of training, a lot of great sparring from brought people in from across the United States. We recently got connected with Coach Larry Wade on our strength and conditioning. A lot of big things have happened for us this camp, and everything feels together now, and a lot of game planning through this.
Um, let's talk a little bit about you. I know you've been on some cards. You've been on TV several times. Some Fox cards, FS1 cards. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Yeah, how long you've been boxing? Talk about your amateur career.
Yeah, I started fighting amateurs when I was 11. You know, went to nationals every year. Went to Golden Glove, silver, like all through all of those things, and I would finish amateurs at 126 and 11. And once they started taking away the headgear, my dream was always to go to the Olympics. But once they started taking away headgear and changing this, scoring system and everything, it just made more sense to just turn pro. So I've been pro for about I think 4 years now. So yes, sir.
If I'm not mistaken, you're a Filipino descent.
Yes, half and half Sicilian Italian. Yes, sir.
Oh, that's an interesting combination. So I was going to say, I mean, the Filipino, is there a big Filipino community in Nashville, Tennessee?
Not Nashville, not as big. But down here in LA there is.
Yeah. Unfortunately, and I will get into this. Unfortunately, you're going to be fighting in a 20,000 seat arena with no one in there. Have
Yeah.
you thought about? Obviously, I know. Obviously, boxing's been back for 5-6 months now, but about fighting in front of a big in a big building with no fans. You thought about
Um,
that?
you don't really. I mean, I've thought about it, but it's not really something like you don't really hear it. It's not. It's if you're like when you get in there, it's just not something you're just like, oh, like I hear him screaming. Like, yeah, you hear him, but that's not what's important. So I'm not too worried about that. We fought national championships and stuff like that. That there was nobody there. I mean, starting out as a pro, we fought in you know um, old gymnasiums with nobody in there. So it's no different for us as far as that. As far as that. So,
And obviously now there's some good talent beside yourself fighting
mhm.
out in Nashville. You actually obviously you fought the Magdalena fight that was on the Caleb Plant card, and you guys did a real nice attendance there that night in
Oh yeah.
Nashville. Does that give you hope that more big events can go back and maybe give you an opportunity to fight at home?
I mean, I would love that. That's been our dream is to bring boxing back to Nashville. Yeah, I mean, we could definitely keep the audience up. Like without a doubt, there's no question we can provide the views. Um, so hopefully in the future we can bring it back to Nashville. But I know our city loved it.
I mean, do you talk to Caleb about that? I mean, you guys are the two probably the two of the better known guys in Nashville.
Yeah, no, he definitely wants to bring it back. You know, it's really up to, you know, the promotion and everything, but you know, and far as like COVID and stuff like that, like whenever that clears up, there's going to be obviously a higher chance they're bringing it back. So
You said that obviously after your last fight, you went right back in the gym, and you mentioned the COVID. Did any of the restrictions? Were you able to? Did you have to stay out of the gym for a certain amount of time, or
no, sir? So we have our own gym in Hendersonville where we live, and you know, we moved the weights and treadmills and everything into our boxing gym, so we had everything we needed right there in one gym, and you know, we got to work in every day. We never had to take any days off. So
has it been a little I don't want to use the word frustrating, but obviously the PBC, which you're aligned to, they've been back, you know, doing fights for a couple months now. Were you ready to go in August, September when they started back, or is this you're at the right time now?
You know, we're always in the gym, so we're never not ready. I did get sick there for a little while, so that kind of threw me off a little bit too. But we weren't trying to rush back into anything. We wanted to make sure that we had like all of our P's and Q's. You know, we wanted to make sure everything was on track before we just jumped back into the ring. But we feel good now. So anything they offer us, we're gonna be there.
Not taking anything away from Gallegos, but how many fights do you feel you need to win before you get right back into the fire, so to speak?
I would say, I mean, two to three. I would say before we're back where we were. And when it's our time and we have that opportunity again, you know, it's gonna be. I mean, even this fight, you're gonna see a completely different fighter than what you've seen last time. So, you know, we're ready. It's a whole different mindset for me. As far as like bringing in everything we needed to get in for camp, it's changed physically and mentally for me a lot. So
obviously the lightweight division has been pretty much the talk of the boxing world over the last month. I mean, you see the guys at the top of the division, Teofimo and Lomachenko, Haney, Garcia, they're all fighting with each other on Twitter and everything like that.
Yeah.
You know, how does that play out for you? I mean, do you see yourself, you know, a year or 2 years from now in the ring with those guys?
Absolutely. You know, growing up amateurs, I fought, you know, a lot of the big names. I fought Tank. I fought Erickson Lubin. You know, and it's always been competitive. You know, so I definitely see myself in those ranks. I just gotta climb the ladder and get, and, you know, make other people see it like I see it, and that's with time. Like I said, when it's our time, we'll be there and we'll be ready. That's for sure.
Right now, who's the guy to beat the top of the division?
At the top of the division?
Yeah.
I mean, it would definitely be Tio. I mean, obviously he's the top, but if Tank comes up to 35 permanently, then that'll be a more likely matchup, you know, closer than Tio would be.
Mm-hmm.
But any of them, you know, I've never turned down any fight, no matter who it was, no matter what point in my career. If they offer them to me, we take it, because we believe in ourselves and we believe what we can do in the ring. So any of them, I would have no problem stepping in the ring with.
We obviously mentioned those guys, and you know, even the tier right under them. We just saw Kambosos kind of announce himself on the scene at 135. Mm-hmm. Isaac Cruz made a statement, you know, in the pay-per-view show on Tank's card. Even that, I mean, you see that even before the possible title shots, that there are big opportunities, you know, to really get a real big breakthrough win before you even get to a title shot.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely more and more opportunity. It feels like this whole COVID thing has but it's slowed down boxing, but there's been a lot of openings and a lot of people moving weights and a lot of people doing this. So I definitely see there could be a lot of more openings as everything starts, like boxing starts coming back full time. You know, and all the fans and everything comes back. I definitely think there'll be a lot more openings. But like I said, whenever it's our time and we do have our opportunity, we're going to take it. 25
years old, and just a couple more questions here. 5'10", Are you long for the 135-pound
No.
division?
Not as long as I wish I was. No, I mean I'm not. I don't have short arms, but I think what do they have me in as? I don't
67,
remember.
I think.
67, yeah, something like that. No, I mean there's guys in there with 74-inch reach and some long arms.
But at 5'10", I mean, obviously, do you see a future of 40, maybe even 47?
Oh yeah, definitely. I in the future, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, 135 still not a problem though for you, right?
No, I could make 130 again.
Wow.
I think I might be able to make 130 again. We'd have to sit down with our nutritionists and doctors and everything, but 35 is easy.
Well, there you have it. Any last questions before we see you this Saturday night live on FS1, taking on Jose Luis Gallegos live on FS1 from the Staples Center in Los Angeles?
Yes, sir. No, I just appreciate you having me and taking the time to interview me.
Right, that's our pleasure. And where do we find you on social media?
Instagram is AD_the dream_.
And there you have it. Well, we thank you for a few minutes of your time, Austin Dulay. We'll see you Saturday night. We look forward to watching it on television on FS1. Thank you, and we'll talk to you along the way.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.